Get me next to somebody who's short. Can I borrow you for a minute? There, now we're...
Hold your sign up a little higher.
So tell us what's going on here today.
We're supporting workers and their right to unionize. The governor of Wisconsin is trying to right wing and trying to destroy unions.
How so?
Right?
What's he doing to destroy unions?
They're trying to pass a bill that would eliminate the ability for Wisconsin workers to bargain collectively for wages and hours and better conditions and good stuff. And they're trying to steal our pensions and our... There's something else.
They're trying to shut down Democrats and Democratic support while not taxing their group, not taxing bankers, Wall Street, and the Republicans' base.
You can't tax rich people.
No,
they earned it all by themselves.
So they're going to take the middle class out. So I'm here to protest.
So what are people in Wisconsin doing about this?
I think they're doing the same thing.
There's a lot of them out on the street.
Oh, there's April.
So what can people here in Olympia and elsewhere do?
Because it's going to spread. We're here to support it. If it works there, if the Republicans get it to work there, then it's in other states will try it too, other Republican governors. So we're here to try and stop it and show them that it's not just Wisconsin. It's all of us.
Bill, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Is that Karen?
Thanks.
I've been following it on the internet. And there's a piece in the bill that he's trying to pass that gives him the right, without having to check with anybody else, to sell jobs, public jobs, to whoever he wants to. And you can pull that up and look at it. It's real interesting, especially since he's already given the Koch brothers so many tax breaks that it's bankrupted the state, and he's having to balance the budget on the state workers' backs. What's also people aren't talking about is that it's not the wages that they're talking about. He's taking away their human rights, you know, their ability to bargain about the working conditions they have to endure. Now that's something that as Americans we're entitled to, and they shouldn't take that away. That's really important.
Who are the Koch brothers?
They're the ones that paid $34,000 to get him into office. And as soon as they got him into office and he did all the tax breaks for them, they gave themselves an $11 billion bonus for getting him hired and having him put into law all the tax breaks that help them, because they have so many businesses there.
So how does this affect state workers here in Olympia?
We're all one union. The union is the only entity that is protecting workers' rights. Once the union is gone, workers will have no more rights. That's if they get rid of the union, then we're back to slave labor, basically. We have no rights, no nothing. Do you want someone taking care of you when you get old and are in a nursing home? You want someone taking care of you that's getting paid minimum wage, and maybe they'll show up and maybe they won't? People say that public servants get paid a lot of money, but they don't, not really. I'm a public servant, and I take pride in doing my job and helping people. I'm not out to make a buck on the back of the people that I serve. Thanks.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, that's it.
All right.
Scott Walker, you should listen to the people, not the corporations. They're trying to get us public worker versus private worker. Union against non-union. New immigrant against the nation of immigrants. People who are losing this grasp of the middle class versus those who wish they had a way to get to the middle class. We are here to say we are not divided, and we will fight back. say it a couple of times and I want you to join me. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. So today we have a lot of people that are going to be speaking to you. People who are using their courageous voice to help us organize and to stand up for human rights. I'd like to recognize Insurance Commissioner Mike Clyburn. I don't know if he's here. Mike doesn't have a hat on because he's got more hair than me. So let us begin with the voices from our community. And y'all know who you are. They're going to come up and introduce themselves. But you know, this is great. You look beautiful, you look strong, and I know we won't stop. How y'all doing out there? Kelly Fox, I'm a firefighter in Olympia. Say, you saw the fire engine parked there. That is the face of public service. They were in this crowd helping someone who had fallen in the ice. And that is what the people on those steps up there want to stop us from delivering to our communities. Public service. The International Association of Firefighters stands with all workers in Wisconsin and in Washington. Teachers, nurses, social workers, state employees, local government workers, private sector workers. We didn't cause this recession. The unchecked greed of Wall Street caused it, and they are attacking us to divert the attention from themselves. Do not let that happen. This is an attack on our middle class. We are middle America. It's an attack on public health. It's an attack on public safety. We won't allow it. You won't allow it. And we will not be divided. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here today. Do not give up the fight. Stand with Wisconsin. Stand with Washington workers. Thank you. The insurance companies are watching Wisconsin. They want to take advantage of the same kind of movement they hope they can achieve there. Are we going to allow that to happen? No! We're going to stand together. Just like we did when they tried to take down workers' compensation with Initiative 1082, we stopped them. We're going to make sure that we have health care reform that really works for Americans, and they're not going to take it away from us. Together we're going to win this fight. We need to send a message. Thank you all for coming. Let's take the bastards down.
We want a new choice, no more cuts. With all the money they're spending, what's the dollars they're lending? We're all going broke, this isn't a joke, no more cuts.
Corporate tax breaks. While awaiting public employees for some sort of business project. It is not right. Billionaires like your brother pour money into elections, not citizens, and ensure citizens tax breaks for companies in America.
Well, I learned about this solidarity gathering via Twitter, and I'm a union carpenter from Whatcom County, and I really enjoy building bridges and government dorms, and I guess what we need to do is we need to support local, we need to support unions, we need to buy local, buy American. We need to put our workers, our skilled workers, back to work in this country. I'd like to see that corporations will stop outsourcing jobs to China. I would like to see the Americans support community and support local farmers. And I'd like to see the rich and the corporations taxed, and I'd like to see Wall Street traders taxed. And in a nutshell, I think it's okay. I think it's okay to have a sustainable job in America and a career with health care for all. In unity, in solidarity, and in diversity. Thank you.
Jim, and I am a very concerned American, and Americans are ignorant of their right to organize, the right to organize as a worker and join a union is a basic human right, is recognized by the UN. You got my sign, right? You took a picture of the sign. You have a right to join a union, the same as you have a right to breathe clean air and drink clean water. The same as you have a right to your own religion, the same as you have a right to freedom of expression. You have a right to organize and join a union. You don't need your employer's permission. You can form a union and demand recognition when you get half of the workers to agree to that. That's what it takes to have a union. Americans are entitled to unions. All over the world, workers are entitled to unions. And countries that recognize that right, we call modern Western states. Countries like Canada, West Germany, France, England, all the countries that have the same or equal or better standards of living all have unions. The countries that don't have unions, nobody wants to live in. So unions make for modern Western societies because they build middle classes. And if the middle class doesn't have any wealth, the middle class won't have any political power. So no unions, no democracy. You have to have unions to have democracy, because without unions, you won't have a middle class.
So you know who I am?
Countries that don't have unions don't have middle classes. So Americans need to know their rights. Not only that, you have a right to life. And what that means is you have a right to a livelihood. Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Paine, those guys looked at the Indians in 1760, and they said, how come the Indians are better off than the average Europeans? Well, the Indians are better off than the average Europeans because they had access to the land, and they could hunt and raise crops on the land. And by living off the land, they were better off than most European peasants. And so they surmised from that you had a right to life based on the fact that the Creator gave the land for everyone, and everyone could earn a living on it, as witnessed by the Indians. And so when they were thinking about what your basic human rights were for the Declaration of Independence, they put in right to life. And what they meant by that is a right to a livelihood. You have a right to earn a living. You have a right to earn a living. And the society is constructed in a way that the average person can't earn a living. As it is now, less than half the jobs are family wage jobs. Jobs whereby a man can support his family with. A man or a woman can support their family with. That's against your human right. You have a human right to earn a living. Thank you.
So what's going on in Wisconsin in relation to that?
What's going on in Wisconsin in relation to that?
Yeah.
The governor wants to basically trash all of his union contracts. Those contracts were negotiated and hardly won. The workers deserve to have the contracts that they made with their employer, the state, honored. Pure and simple. They negotiated for those contracts fair and square. The state agreed to them. Now the state has an obligation to meet their contracts. They don't have a right to walk away from workers. Those workers earn that money.
I just want to thank you for coming out.
Firefighters, policemen, teachers, nurses, they put their life on the line every day. All right? Now teachers aren't in a dangerous situation, but they sure earn their money. They work hard every day to educate our kids. And if we think our kids are better off because we underpay our teachers, they got another thing coming. People who don't get paid properly don't work properly.
And we are here to say,
it's just that simple. There's only so many kids you can crowd into one classroom. And it's teachers that defend the education system from the Tea Party and those people who, for political reasons, would cut the hell out. Those are our kids, and kids can't wait. Kids only get one shot at their education. They can't wait for a few years for the recession to be over. Kids need educations now because they're only 10 once. They're only 11 once. And what you can teach a kid then is different than what you can teach them later. So you have to teach them well every year. There are kids, and you don't improve their education by treating their teacher like crap. And when you throw away the contracts that the teachers have won, fair and square, that's treating them like crap.
So how does what's going on in Wisconsin affect workers here in Olympia and Washington State?
An attack against one worker is an attack against every worker. That's what unions are about. If you're mugged on a street corner, it's my business. Because if a criminal can get away with attacking you, he can get away with attacking me. If the state of Wisconsin is allowed to renege on their union contracts, no contract with any worker anywhere is worth anything. Workers are entitled to collective bargaining and to a contract with their employee, and the state has an obligation to honor and enforce contracts. That's why you have governments, to protect contracts. Without contracts, you have no law, you have no business, you have no bread, as Benjamin Franklin would say. No law, no bread. Contracts are covenants between individuals. In this case, it's a covenant between the individual and the state. Individuals are entitled to collective bargaining, they're entitled to contracts, and they have a right to demand those contracts be kept.
So after today, what's going to happen next in this struggle?
I don't know. It all depends on what happens in Wisconsin, doesn't it? I see the defecation hitting the oscillator any day now. It doesn't look good. It's getting ugly. America is the ugliest country I've seen. America is as ugly as I've ever seen it in my entire lifetime, and that includes the civil rights movement. People are thinking that union workers are lazy, irresponsible, whatever. That's just crap. And it's crap spread by the Tea Party.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you. Please don't cheat on me. Please don't mix up my work.
Go ahead, Rob. Well, I'm Rob Hoff. I'm from Shelton, Washington. I'm a forester with Washington DNR, and we're here today sticking up for the unions and the right to collectively bargain, not only here but obviously Wisconsin. In my particular case, they're asking for wage cuts here, and I already make 25% less than the private side, so any more cuts, it's a race to the bottom for us. That's pretty much all I have to say.
I'm Gerald Barker, and I live in Shelton, and I was compelled to come here for the rights of the working middle class. I see we now live or almost now live in the United Corporations of America, and I think it's time we took it to the streets.
So what's going on here today?
What's going on here today? It's a pushback of the middle class is being continuously gutted in favor of the corporations, and this is pushback.
What do you see happening after today? How can people get organized and get involved?
Well, I found out about it through MoveOn.org. How did you find
out? It was also through MoveOn.org, but my union as well. We've been following. I'm WPEA, Washington Public Employees Association, and the word has been spreading. People just pay attention to MoveOn and keep you aware of what's going on.
So how does what is happening to workers in Wisconsin affect you all here in Washington State?
Well, there's the possibility of a direct trickle down. There's already, is it 5 states, something like that, supporting similar legislation. We had similar legislation in this state. And it was, from what I understand, was repealed earlier in the process. I'm not exactly sure when. But the threat is across the board, and we need to stand up to that.
Do you guys have anything else you'd like to say?
How's that?
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I do. Socialism for my needs and capitalism for my wants.
My name's Patricia, and I'm a teacher, private school teacher, independent, and I'm here to support all the workers and to make sure that America is really for the people and not just for the wealthy. That's why I'm here.
So what's prompted all of this? What's going on in Wisconsin?
What's going on in Wisconsin? There's a huge uprising in the Capitol. You know that.
Well, tell the people out in TV land what's going on.
They might not know.
Yes.
There's a big group of people at the Capitol in Wisconsin, and we're here in Washington to support them, to show solidarity, and then across the nation, every capital has a demonstration just like this.
And how does this affect teachers like yourself?
I think it affects every single person in America, because if some of our brothers and sisters' freedom is taken away, it's taken away from all of us. It doesn't really have to do with what profession you are.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I'm glad to be here, and I think that the weather is in solidarity with Wisconsin.
Thank you.
I'm Alice Workema. I live up in Linden, and I told my friends that if I found 3 more people, I would drive my car down, and so I drove down this morning through the snow, and I'm so glad to be here and to be part of this demonstration. I think it's high time that we speak up and get our message out. I had been a teacher. I was really impressed with Sarah Stearns, a teacher in Madison, who said that she's a first grade teacher. She teaches her kids to speak up and to get their message across. And she says in first grade, fair and unfair are very important, and that was why she was demonstrating. And I agree, those kind of things are very important, and I'm here with that.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. What are you guys filming
For TCTV. Okay, we're rolling. Tell us what's going on here today. What are you doing here?
I'm here because I'm actually a non-represented state employee, but I want to stand with the unions and the people of Wisconsin, all the workers in the United States and all around the world. I think my parents were teachers, they're retired teachers, and I think what work that public servants do is essential and needs to be compensated fairly. And state employees, public servants did not get us into this mess, and that's why I'm here to make sure that there's a fair budget that's passed.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Just that people are what we need to protect. I'm not interested in protecting corporations. I'm not interested in protecting just budget lines or staying in the black just for no good reason. I'm really in favor of protecting the rights of employees.
Great, thank you.
Hello. Mark is on his way. I'm standing on the base of a pillar, and I'm waving right now. You should see me in the middle on one of the pillars. Okay. The big building, like where everyone is on the steps.
We're all together.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, bye.
Okay, what was that?
Benito Mussolini said that fascism is the perfect marriage of corporations and government.
And how does that relate to what's going on here today?
The corporations
corporations are the ones that cause this problem. They should be the ones that are fixing it, not the back. It shouldn't be put on the backs of the workers, whether they be private workers or unionized workers.
I think I'm gonna head home.
Alright, well thanks for coming out.
Definitely. When do you think you're gonna be doing the editing time?
I don't know. Monday maybe I might have time.
What's up?